This is Kilo Zero Baker Uniform Mike, and I am transmitting from Broomfield, Colorado. My name is Brian. I'll be net control for the Grassroots Radio Net this evening. This net meets every Wednesday between 7:30 and 8 p.m. local mountain time to discuss Simplex emergency radio communications. We hope that you will join us each and every week in our efforts to be a service to our communities, and please share your knowledge with your neighbors and friends. The topic will be tonight equipment needs. What type of equipment do you believe you should have in your shack, other than a radio and antenna, that will accommodate your communications, help improve your communications? And if you have any questions about anything, these can just include any accessories or anything like that. So, this net may be interrupted at any time for emergencies or priority traffic. If you need to utilize the frequency during the net for this purpose, please say break break, your call sign, and you will be acknowledged by net control and allowed to use the frequency for your purposes. Net control will suspend the net until you advise you are clear. Are there any announcements before beginning the net? If so, please call now. Okay, I didn't hear any announcements there. Alrighty, so equipment needs. What equipment needs for emergency communications would you recommend to others, in addition to your radio and antenna system? I would like to make one recommendation myself, and that would be a battery eliminator for your HT. I think that would be a great one for that. So that's my recommendation for something. You can check those out online, and they're pretty cheap. So I'm going to be taking, once I get my paper here, running a little late tonight. I'll be taking check-ins for in the, let's go to the northeast area, north of I-70 and east of I-25. If you're in that area, please call now. Okay, I didn't hear anybody. Did anybody else hear anybody?
Nothing heard from here, Brian.
Okay, copy that. Let's go to the southeast, south of I-25, or south of I-70 and east of I-25. If you're in that area, please check in now.
K0TIT, Bob in Aurora.
K0TJL, TJ in, probably not east of I-25, sorry, but TJ in Denver.
Okay, are there any others that I did not hear out there? I got K0TIT and K0TJL, TJ in Denver. Anybody else that I did not hear?
KD0YTQ, this is Leo in Thornton.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's start with the the northwest side of the city. You're west of I-25 and north of I-70. Please check in now. Leo, I got you in there. Anybody else in the northeastern or northwestern side of town?
This is Whiskey Alpha Zero, Sierra Papa Mike, Gary, Lafayette. Gary's Region 1, District 3, over. J0MKZ.
Okay, I had Gary in Lafayette. Gary, you're really a little choppy there. Give me your call sign one more time, please.
Whiskey Alpha Zero, Sierra Papa Mike. I say again, Whiskey Alpha Zero, Sierra Papa Mike, over.
Okay, WA0SPM. Very good, Gary, thank you. And KD0MKZ, Steve, I heard you in there too. Did anybody else hear anybody else that I did not acknowledge?
No, but Gary's he's a little choppy, but I've got him very well from my location.
Okay, very good. All right, well, let's go on to the southwest side of town. If you're south of I-70 and west of I-25, please call in now.
Kilo Delta 0 Sierra Charlie Yankee KD0SCY, John in Northwest Denver.
KD0WZB, Evelyn in the Denver Tech Center.
KD0VHG, Kevin, outside of world famous Tiny Town.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Zulu Lima, Pam, Morrison.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, I got KD0SCY, John in Denver. KD0WZB, Evelyn in Denver Tech Center. Murray, KD0YUR. I think Murray's in Lakewood, I believe. And KD0VHD, Kevin in Tiny Town. And W8CZL, Pam. Is there anybody else that I did not acknowledge?
Can you find a message out there, Brian?
I can, Steve. What message do you want me to throw out there?
Never mind, he got an answer. Scott was looking to see if anybody was monitoring. Apparently, Evelyn said yes.
Okay, thanks that one for shouting out there. I haven't got the Facebook page up right now. And I was trying to get that whole chat thing going on, and I couldn't seem to get that going for whatever reason. And so, Evelyn, if you can get that started, just invite everybody into the chat. That's fine. So, is there any other check-ins? Anybody that I did not acknowledge or that you heard that I did not acknowledge? Please come now.
Allie is trying to see if anybody can hear her. I did not hear her, but she's saying on Facebook that she did call out.
Okay, Allie. Let's see. I'm drawing a blank on Allie's call. I'll refresh my memory. Bob, can you hear Allie over there?
Not yet. Thanks for making some adjustments here. I'm texting and trying to help as the net goes along, Brian.
K0VND.
Thank you, Steve. KD0VND, Allie. I guess she's still working on her radio yet, but thank you, Steve.
Roger.
I can hear Steve.
Did you hear that, Steve?
I did, and I can hear John. John, can you hear me?
John, Steve is wondering if you can hear him. KD0SCY, MKZ wants to know.
He's coming in real choppy. I can it's barely audible here.
Copy that.
Oh, very good. Alrighty, John. Well, John put up a new antenna, so he's blowing my doors off right now. So, Steve, is that the first time you've heard John?
No, I heard him on the Diamond 50, but I have not yet been able to talk to him.
Oh, okay. Copy that. Very good. Well, I guess can't hear no bells out down. Okay. I guess Leo's having trouble hearing. I think it has something to do with that. The filters in that radio. But anyway, let's go on with the net here. Bob, K0TIT, since you were the first one to check in, is there any recommendations that people should add to their shack to help improve their communications in the event of emergency? Any accessory, or it doesn't even have to be something you have to buy. It could be anything. So go ahead, Bob, take it.
Well, you're talking necessity, not nicety. I don't know that this is necessarily something that improves communication very much, but I am a firm believer that you should have a meter and monitor things so that you can see what's going on with your radio. I'm a firm believer in that. K0TIT.
Okay, I'm sure everybody heard that. A meter, and I believe he's talking about an SWR meter. And I agree, Steve. SWR meter, regardless of what they'll tell you down at HRO, I've had them tell me, oh, 2 meter, you don't need a meter, an SWR meter. It's like, no, you do need a meter. I recommend anybody get one. They're not real cheap for VHF and UHF, but they're like around $60 for, it's a semi-decent one. It's the MFJ is the one I run. It's a cross needle one. It's a very good one. So thanks, Bob. I agree. That's great advice there. All right, let's go to TJ, K0TJL. TJ in Denver, it's your turn. Take it.
Good evening, Brian, and the rest of the folks out there. Let's see, things that would improve your radio communications. I would say just make sure your coax is sealed, waterproofed, and I use an antenna analyzer to make sure my antennas fall within the range I want them in. And of course, I run battery backup and also generator backup for emergency occasions. So I guess that would be my 2 cents. And if all else fails, you can always get a mirror and flash somebody from on top of your roof, I guess. So with that, I will leave it back to you, Brian, and thanks for letting me on the net. K0TJL.
H0BUM, this is KD0WZB.
Yeah, go ahead, Evelyn.
Just for those that are not that technical savvy, including myself, can you please describe what an SWR meter is, or define, but because some people on Facebook do not know what those are, so.
Okay, good question. SWR stands for Standing Wave Ratio, and what it does is it measures your power going out, and it measures the reflected power coming back into your radio. You do not want a lot of reflected power coming back into your radio because it can fry your finals and do bad things to your radio. So the SWR meter will meter that so you can see, okay, is my antenna working efficiently? Is it radiating all the power out that it can possibly radiate out without it coming back into your radio? So that's my interpretation of what an SWR meter is, and it also gives you your power output. It'll tell you your power is low, and it's like, oh, what's wrong? There's something wrong. It'll give you the first indication of something wrong. If you got a high SWR, it'll give you an indication as, oh, the wind blew down my antenna, or whatever. It could be anything. It could be water that's gotten into your antenna connections or something like that. So it's very, very important to have that, and so if you can, get one. Very good. All right, and to acknowledge there, TJ, good coax. I agree. There's no substitute for good coax. And LMR 400 for UHF and VHF is what I would recommend very much so. So, alrighty, well, let's go on to Leo, KD0YTQ. Whoops, my pencil head broke. Leo, it's your turn. Take it. I think Leo's having trouble hearing us. Is that correct? Okay, maybe we'll come back to Leo. Try her later. Let's go to Gary in Lafayette. WA0SPM. Gary, take it. It's your turn.
Yeah, this is VIDEO0103. My take on this is maybe a little different. I think the most important attribute for an amateur radio station during a local emergency is to be able to work at least periodically without the infrastructure for 72-hour span. That could be an HT with a car charger. It could be a portable station with solar, generator, mobile, any of those things. But if you're going to operate in an emergency, you can't use the infrastructure. Don't count on commercial power, phones, cable TV, internet. You got to do without all that. I'd say that's the most important attribute. If you can do that, everything else is an accessory. That's my comment. Go ahead.
Oh, Gary, very good points, and you're so right about that. And then for those of you who may not have heard Gary, he's up in Lafayette. He was talking about basically do not rely on the infrastructure for your emergency communications. In other words, repeaters, cell phones, those kind of things. But as far as radio related, basically just repeaters, those may not work, or maybe your digital communications may not work. So he also mentioned solar power, having a generator, some way to charge up your batteries. There's other things he recommended. Very good advice there, Gary. I think you're dead on about that. So with that said, let's go to KD0MKZ, Steve. Right out here, my neighbor here in Broomfield. Take it, Steve. It's your turn.
Yeah, I want to let Net Control know that I can hear Evelyn, and because she has a higher voice, she is easier to read than TJ. I can hear TJ, but he's hard to read with his deeper voice. I could communicate with him if I had to. Anyway, I'm going along with what Gary said. Battery backup, like a big car battery or something like that you can operate with without power.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Steve. For those who do not hear Steve, Steve wanted Evelyn and TJ to know that he could hear both of you. Evelyn, Steve said he could actually communicate with you, so that's great to know. And TJ, he could hear you too, a little rougher, but he could make do. Steve also agreed with Gary, battery backup, that kind of stuff. Have a way to power your equipment in time of an emergency. So very good. All right, Steve, thanks for joining us tonight in the net. It's good to have you back. Okay, let's go to KD0SCY. John in Denver. John, what type of accessories would you recommend in the time of emergency for your radio communications?
KD0SCY, thanks for doing the net, Brian. I would recommend, it's more maintenance type items like end connectors, a crimping tool, fuses for the equipment that you have, and a volt-ohm meter in case you have to, troubleshoot something because there might not be an HRO down the block. And Joy is going to be a little bit late. Maybe you could do a late check-in call later on, but that's all I've got. So back to net. And again, thanks for doing this, Brian. KD0SCY.
Oh, John, thank you for joining us. That's a net. It's not just me, but it's everybody joining in. That's what makes it work. A voltmeter, very good. Yeah, voltmeter, ohm meter. Yeah, that is something you need to know whether your batteries are dead, whether your solar panel is putting out the proper amount of power. That's a really good thing. So I agree there, John. Thanks for your comments there. All right, Evelyn, KD0WZB in Denver Tech Center. Evelyn, it's your turn. Take it.
Well, I'm fairly new to this hobby, so I don't know. I'm slowly learning about the equipment, but I think I would agree with John. I do happen to have the HRO down the street from me, so that would make it a little easier to get anything that I needed. But in essence, just like everything else, just have some type of backup equipment or battery that you could utilize when the rest of the system is down. Just wanted to add that Peter can hear Steve and Gary and Lafayette, and could hear and John as well, clear as the bell. This is KD0WCB.
Oh, excellent. That's excellent. Very good, Evelyn. Yeah, I don't know, where is Peter at anyway?
Lakewood.
No idea.
Okay, alrighty. Well, I guess someone said Lakewood in there. I guess you copied that, Steve, that they could hear you?
I saw it come over Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, very good. See, that's what, this is all working out pretty good. It's good to see the people using the Facebook, too, also on here, so, very good. Thanks, Evelyn. All right, Murray, KD0YUR. Murray, out there, I believe he's in Lakewood today. Let's hear what you got to add into here. Take it away, Murray. Alrighty, Murray, I couldn't copy any of that. A lot of static. Let's see, Bob, K0TIT, could you relay that? Up here in the north end, we're not hearing him too good.
Well, I could if I'd have paid a little closer attention. I can hear Murray just fine. I didn't pay real close attention to exactly what he was relaying. If you would like to say it again in a nutshell, I'd be more than happy to relay that for you, Brian. Generators and things like that, to be a little stealthy, don't make yourself a target. Generators make noise, things like that. So if you set stuff up, be leery of how you do it so that it doesn't attract attention. If I got that right, Murray, please tell me so. Yep, perfect. All right. Did you copy that, Brian?
I did. And, yeah, in a time of emergency, Murray's right. Yeah, you can... you don't want to be drawing a lot of attention to yourself. You know, sometimes people get desperate in times of emergency, and depending on the degree of emergency, you know, sometimes that wouldn't be a problem. You know, no one's going to bother you. But when everybody is in a state of emergency, that's when it could be a problem. So that's good advice, Murray. That's where solar panels might come in really nice. You know, you can see them, but they don't make any noise. So you can always hide those in your backyard or something if you had to. So. Very good, Murray. Great advice. Thanks for checking in here with us. KD0VHD, Kevin in Tiny Town. Hey, Kevin. Nice of you to make the net. Go ahead. It's your turn.
Thanks, Brian. Great net. Hello to everybody. Everybody's coming in loud and clear here, including Leo. Leo was surprisingly great signal strength and great audio tonight. I am a stickler for external speakers. I really cannot have a radio without an external speaker. I just love the quality that they provide, even if it's an HT, and I have to purchase a speaker mic for it. Like on the Asus, you have the option of plugging in headphones to the speaker mic. your HT into a base station. I agree with everything everyone has said tonight. Good coax, alternative power. I know when I just had a couple of HTs, I was almost somewhat urgent that I needed to get a more powerful radio that also operated on 12 volts. So that opened up a lot more options, and it made me feel a little bit better. Just the fact that all of us are talking on Simplex tonight is a great thing, radio to radio. How can you beat it? But I really enjoy external speakers, and I guess that's my 2 cents worth tonight. But thanks, Brian. Everybody sounded great.
Oh, great, Kevin. Yeah, speakers. Your radio is absolutely useless without them. It's probably the most important part of your radio. Your finals can go out and you can't transmit, but at least you can listen. But if your if your darn speaker goes out, well, it's just useless to you. So yeah, good point. Have a spare speaker around, just in case, for sure, and better audio quality too. So great points there, Kevin. Pam, W8CZL. It's your turn. What accessories would you like to have, or what do you think a person should absolutely need to have in their bag of tricks in a time of emergency?
Well, Murray was absolutely right. The one drawback to generators, if it's not like a gas-operated one that's in your house, then it's like ours, that's a gasoline-operated one that has exhaust. I'd like to have some solar panels to at least be able to charge batteries for our radios. Also, having a good light, even if it's just a really good quality flashlight that's small and easy for you to handle. In case of power outage, etc., wanting to work your radios in the evening, some of these really small high-intensity lights are really good, and they're LEDs, so they don't use a lot of battery power, and they allow you to see clearly. So that's my suggestion, and I, like Kevin, think that everyone has had great suggestions. And Leo, we did hear you in the very beginning, and you sounded really strong and great, so I hope you're hearing us now. WCZL back to net. Thanks, Brian.
Oh, thank you. All right, that's great. Yeah, Peter in Haywood is Peter Haywood, not Peter in Haywood. Peter Haywood on here on the Facebook page is saying that he could not hear Pam or Kevin, so it's kind of a bummer. All right, well, Peter, we're going to have to fix you up with a better antenna so you can hear them people. It's important. So, dropping my pens here. Oh, let's see if Allie's in here. KD0BND. Allie, did you get your radio going there? It's your turn.
Comment.
Okay, I can hardly read her. Bob, you got a good fix on her signal?
Yeah, I do. I've got her. There was a little bit of a double at the beginning. I think it was MKZ and Allie at the same time. Allie, go ahead and try it again real quick. Did you copy that at all, Brian?
It's really rough for me over here. Go ahead, Bob. Tell me about it.
She was just trying. She's listening, so we've got some work to help her out with too. So I can hear her, but that's probably mostly because of proximity.
Copy that. Well, thanks, Allie, for checking in with our net. It's great to have more the merrier, as they say. So, boy, great advice from everybody. And Pam, by the way, Pam, a flashlight. You need to have a flashlight so you can see your radio, so you can get to it at night. And you can see all the dials and everything. So, very good there. And, well, does anybody else? So, let's see, late check-ins is, Joy, did you make it out here? Let's see if Joy's out here yet. I'm drawing a blank on her call, but, Joy, if you're listening, go take it.
Comment.
KD0ZHC, this is Joy in Denver.
Okay, did I catch that right? KD0V. Say your call again for me once more, Joy.
KD0 Zebra Hotel Charlie. This is Joy in Denver.
Okay. ZHC. Okay, Joy. Sorry about that. Stand by just for a second. Steve has jumped in there two times now. Go ahead, Steve, with your comment real fast.
Two comments now. I can hear Joy. I can hear her pretty well, so I wonder if she can hear me. But some people might be a little confused. You ought to tell everybody that Pam and Kevin are operating from the same station because what's his name there in Lakewood said he couldn't hear either one of them, and he might think that they're two different stations, and they are not.
Copy that. Joy, Steve says he can hear you, and also that you want to make a point that Kevin and Pam are both using the same station. I get confused because Kevin says Tiny Town, Pam says Morrison. I don't know whether they're at different places or not, but anyway, all right. Very good. Joy, let's hear from you, KD0ZHC. Thank you for joining the net tonight. The topic is, in the time of emergency, what accessories would you like to add to your system, or do you think a person should add to their system during an emergency communication situation?
Hi, Brian. I'm new to this as well. I heard Evelyn, and she was saying she's new to this, to ham radio, and I'm pretty new. I just got my ham ticket recently, so I'm kind of learning. So I can't think of anything, but I'm enjoying listening to the net and getting some ideas. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone's input.
Oh, very good. Well, thanks, Joy. We can hear you loud and proud this week. And I think, Joy, you win the award for, there's no prize or anything, but for most improved since last week. Since last week, you tried to communicate with us, but nobody heard you. Now everybody can hear you. So I think Joy deserves the most improved for the week. Sounding great over here in Broomfield. You're hitting my meter, I don't know, what is it, S20 over or something like that. I wasn't really looking at the meter, but it sounded great over here. So very good, Joy. I'm glad you got your system working up a lot better there.
Thank you very much, Brian, and Brian, thank you for your help with getting my system, getting my antenna and all, and my best friend John just bought me a nice birthday present, a new Kenwood TM 281A.
That's a nice radio. I got one myself, so not what I'm on now, but that's what I do have one of those, and they are great radios. And let's see. Bob says Joy has a great signal and sound, great here in Aurora. Peter says Joy in Denver is very clear. Let's see here. And I think that. Let's see. Well, those are two comments I'm seeing here on Facebook too. So for those of you who are not following along. And by the way, I am recording this audio, and I also am doing a video. I hope the video sound comes out okay. The camera's a little ways away from the speaker, but so I'm going to post those, one on YouTube, and the audio also on, like I did in Dropbox last week, and that way you guys can hear everything and see how you sound and all that good stuff from here in Broomfield. So. Very good. Well, I'm going to close the net then. It sounds like we've got everybody. Well, let me see. Is there any other late check-ins first before I do that? Anybody else that has not checked in that'd like to do so, please do so now.
K0MKZ recheck.
K0AOG.
KD0AOD, I believe it was. You got your first name, please, and where you're at.
Call is Kilo 0 Alpha Oscar Golf. This is Doug in Aurora.
Okay, sorry. K0A. Boy, did I already butcher that? I scribbled all over. Doug in Aurora. Sorry about that. I've tried to get that written down, and I'm not real good at that. I don't know if you've been listening along, Doug, but great to join the net tonight. What in a time of emergency, or for emergency communications, you believe would be a valuable asset, accessory to your radio, that would come in real handy? Your turn.
Well, I've been listening for a little while while I was at work. I first started listening about 25 minutes ago, and everything I've heard so far is really, really good. That I would say the only thing I haven't heard that I would say is a spool of wire, like speaker wire, some other inexpensive type of wire, so that if should anything happen to your normal antenna, you can create a simple wire antenna. Or if you're talking just VHS, then maybe some brass rod or something similar, so that you can create an expedient antenna if you need to. It's over.
Oh, that is very good. Yes. For those of you who may not have heard him, it sounds great over here, but spool of wire is what Doug recommended, and I agree. Yeah, you never know. You may have to build a new antenna, or as he said, have some, if you're using VHF, maybe you need some some rigid wire, some welding rods or something like that. Very good points there, Doug. Thanks, I agree with you 100% there. I think that's an excellent thing to have on hand. So, alrighty, with that being said, I think we'll close the net for now and just be a free-for-all, whoever would like to chatter. We're going to close it here at 8:08, and thanks for everybody coming out and joining the net tonight. We had, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people tonight, 14 including myself, and then plus all those Peter and Allie on the, on here, Anna, who else is out here on the Facebook page is checking in also. Oh, Steve, or Scott, I'm sorry, Scott is also out here. So thanks you guys for coming out and playing along with us out here on the Facebook page and giving your input. It's valuable. So, all right, this is K0BOM, and I'll be standing by.
K0MTZ.
K0BUM, K0BHD.
Oh, hold on a second, Kevin. Let's Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Doug could hear me or if Joy could hear me. I can hear Doug very well, and I can hear Joy very well.
Okay, Steve's question was, could Doug or Joy hear Steve? Can either one of you hear Steve?
Hello, this is Doug, K0AOG. Steve, I can hear you, but a lot of scratch. You're hitting at about an S3 on my meter.
Roger that. You're getting over here probably, S7. You're pretty copyable.
KD0ZHC. This is Joy in Denver. Steve, it's a little bit scratchy, but I can make it out, okay?
Roger that. Isn't that funny? I can't talk to John, but I can talk to Joy, who is 10 miles further south.
K0TAT, Steve?
Go ahead, Bob.
I've got you about 3 or 4 S units here, and I think this is probably the first time you and I have been able to do that on this frequency, I think, ever.
Yeah, roger that.
Steve, I got an answer for you why you can hear Joy better.
She's taller than John by about 2 inches.
She's taller than John. She's more than 2 inches. Yeah, John is kind of down a little bit in the valley relative to Joy's up there pretty high. I was on top of her house the other day for installing an antenna, and boy, she's got, from her rooftop, you can see quite a ways. So she's got a pretty good radio location there. So that's working out to her advantage for sure. So there you go. But could you? My question to you, Steve, could you hear John better this time than you could in the past?
Oh yeah, definitely. I wish he could hear me.
Did you copy that, John?
KD0SCY, Steve, yes, whatever you did when you first started transmitting earlier on in the net, I could barely hear you, but it's better now.
I didn't do anything other than maybe the radio's worked up.
You seem to be coming in a little bit. I'm still having a hard time making out exactly what you're saying, but it's better than what it was, so I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I need to get me a piece of coax, and if that doesn't cure the problem, I need to get me that same antenna that you've got up.
Well, if there's anything I can do to give you a hand, let me know.
Roger that.
Peter, or I'm sorry, John, Peter Haywood on Facebook is saying that you're clear as a bell over there. I don't know where Peter's at. It says John in Denver is clear as a bell. I don't know where is Peter at. Does anybody know?
Liquid.
Okay, alrighty. Well, there you go, John. Peter can hear you good too.
You know, I don't hear Peter. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but maybe we can work on that.
No, Peter is on Facebook, and I'm kind of following along on the radio group chat here on Facebook, and so he's listening on a Bofang, I believe. I don't know if he's got a Bofang. I don't know what. I'm assuming he's got an HT. So he's listening along with us and participating on Facebook. So he's just chiming in saying he can hear you.
Okay, well, yeah, if he's on Facebook, that's probably why I'm not hearing him. So, Katie, you're clear.
And Peter is in Lakewood.
Can Evelyn hear me out there? Evelyn, can you hear me? K0MKZ.
Evelyn, Steve wants to know if you can hear him.
Not at all.
Copied that. I heard her say not at all. And apparently she can't hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Evelyn, do you hear me?
Well, alrighty. I guess that means no. So, alright, thanks, Evelyn. Well, cool. Well, whoever's else out there, let's see. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to add also that people might want to think about picking up is if they got a little HT, one, don't rely on your HT antenna. Try to get something external antenna from there for emergency communications, because if you're communicating with an HT in an emergency situation and using a rubber ducky, not looking too good for you unless you're going through a repeater. But that, and also a battery pack, a accessory battery that'll take alkaline batteries. That could be pretty handy to have too, and you can pick those up for like the Bofang's really cheap also. So that's another thing that just popped in my head. And John, I want to let you know that you're filling my meter up over here. You got my meter swinging all the way over, so you're sounding really good up here in Broomfield. Better than you ever have before. So that antenna that you put up is excellent. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, just a couple of comments and an observation and a question, I guess. I'm not on Facebook right now. Can Steve hear station at all?
KD0MKZ, K0BUM. Steve, Kevin's asking if you can hear his station at all.
Negative. I cannot hear anything.
Okay. Kevin, did you copy that?
No, I can't get Steve at all. Nothing.
Okay, Kevin. Well, Steve says he can't hear nothing at all. And I know you over here, you're hitting me with a 6 swinging 7 over here. So, you're getting over here really well where I'm at. So, there's your answer.
Okay, I'm talking off the log, and I think I have it pretty much aimed in your direction. But on the comment side, Joy is full meter on Joy. Great signal, great audio. Bob, TIT, since you put up your new antenna, you're even booming in more than you used to in the past. And I've got you pretty good, Brian. I'm trying to think if there was somebody else I was forgetting in there. John. John sounds great here, too. Full bars.
K0BUM, this is KD0WZB.
Go ahead, Evelyn. This is K0BUM.
I don't know if you heard me before, but I said that I could not hear Steve, but I'm curious as to whether he can hear me or not.
Yeah, Steve could hear you. You just can't hear him.
Yeah, I can understand what she's saying. It's a little staticky and a little rough, but if she could hear me, we could talk.
Evelyn, Steve said you're a little staticky, but you're definitely readable, and that if you could hear him, then you two could talk. So yeah, that's what as best as I can relay it anyway.
Okay, yeah, I don't. He doesn't register on this radio at all.
Yeah, she said that she didn't hear me, that she could just hear some static. Like I said, she's copyable. It's a little rough. I got to pay attention, but I could talk to her if she could hear me.
Copy that. Oh, and then we got Doug out here on the Facebook page, and Doug is running a Slim Jim just like I am. I'm running he's got his made of 1/4 inch soft drawn copper, he says. And mine is a 1/2 inch. Was it 1/2 inch or 3/4? I think maybe it's 1/2 inch. I can't remember now. But a Bridget copper. So Slim Jim's a great antenna. They work very well. Doug, is that what you're running right now on what you're transmitting on?
Indeed I am. It's a simple little Slim Jim I put together a few years ago, and it's actually not in a good position. It's just on the side of the house, just under the ridge line of the roof. So the bottom of the antenna is maybe 9 feet off the ground. It's really not in a good position at all, and it gets out great. And I can run it on 70 centimeter as well, and it gets really good SWR on that as well. So I'm looking at 1.1 to 1.5 all the way across the 2 meter band, and about 1.1 to 1.7 across the 70 centimeter band. So it's a great antenna. I love it.
Show off.
Copy that. Yeah, I've got similar results with my antenna too. Mine's flat across the entire 2 meter band, and mine's got a little bigger diameter, so it gets a little broader banded. But it's an excellent antenna. It's hard to beat for under $20. You can't beat it, can you? I mean, that's why I got into mine under 20. So I think it's a great antenna. So yeah, and Doug, I can hit most. He's saying here you can hit most of the local repeaters on 5 watts. Yeah, I can do the same, and they're excellent antennas with that low radiation angle. They work really, really well. They do work best though at 20 feet or higher. They don't work. You're really crippling the antenna, Doug. But if you get up 20 feet, well, you think you can hear a bit now and get out well now, then you really start doing some good talking with it at 20 feet or better.
Brian, is yours 2 meter and 70 centimeter?
Yeah, it'll do both. It sure will. I'm trying to shut off the